So I'd like to give a really warm welcome to Flinders University. This is Simone Ulaka-Tur, and she's our Pro Vice-Chancellor Indigenous.
And this is Professor Romy Lawson, Senior Deputy Vice-Chancellor. And we're located at Yungarenthi in Perilla. We'd like to acknowledge all the traditional owners and custodians on the lands of which our university is located within South Australia and Northern Territory.
And whether you're studying on one of those campuses or online, we warmly welcome you to Flinders University.
Yungarenthi in Perilla means meeting place in Ghana, and we were gifted the word Yungarenthi, which means to impart, to inform and communicate. We're right next to Yungarenthi Truku, the building where our Aboriginal students come and learn.
So to start your journey with Flinders, we're privileged to have Cliffy Wilson with us today. He's here from the Kumakaru and he's going to do a welcome to country for us.
Nyanka Namena, Namani, Nana Cliffy Tanku, Munacha Wilson, Nagana, Naranjiri, Naranga, Nadri, Arandamayo. Mariwichanga Gana Meana, Nadlu Tambadi, Nadlu Gana Yatanga Tikandi. Na wanga di mani the bunigani yatana, na yukandalia yakandalia, na chalia. Good morning to each and every one of you behind the lens today. My name is Cliffy Wilson, but I also go by Tunkel and Manacha, which are both my traditional Ghana names down here in the city of Adelaide. So Tunkel is my totem, and my totem is the king brown snake, one of the most dangerous animals in the world. Also, Manacha is just my birth order name, which translates to the fourth born and male of my family. I'm a proud Ghana man from here in the city of Adelaide, but also a proud Ngarrindjeri man from back on the lower lakes of the Coorong and the Fleurieu Peninsula. My family ties extend out to the Narungga people on the Yorke Peninsula, also to the Ngadju people on the Flinders Ranges, and last but not least, the Aranda people in the Northern Territory of Alice Springs. I'm here this morning at Flinders University in Bedford Park, also known as Yungarenthi in Perilla, which translates to meeting place, which is located on the Ghana lands. And on behalf of the Ghana people, I would like to welcome those who are situated here in Flinders Uni at Bedford Park on Ghana lands, but also welcome those across South Australia who are located on other Aboriginal lands. May we pay respects to the traditional custodians of those regions and also pay respects to their cultural and spiritual beliefs, as it still is important to the living Aboriginal people today. Also, we do have campuses located in Northern Territory, so I'd like to pay respects to the traditional owners of those regions. And to the staff and students, may we take care of these campuses and the surrounding communities of these areas like the Aboriginal people have for many thousands of years. But also, may we pay respects to the cultural and spiritual beliefs of the Aboriginal peoples across the country and recognise that their connection to the land, the sky and the waterways that surround and connect us are still as strong, still as important, but also still as important to the living Aboriginal people today. I would like to finish off by saying Nachalia and Nakara. Nachalia means thank you in the Ghana language, and Nachalia means we'll see you again when our paths meet. To all students, I would like to wish you all the best for the remainder of the year and for your future studies. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Cliffy, for offering us a welcome to country and also the acknowledgement of all the traditional owners on which our universities are located.
So welcome to all our new students. I hope you have an amazing first semester, and remember, have fun.
That's a great sentiment to have, folks. But let me also say, just from a personal perspective, as a non-Indigenous person, I would also like to acknowledge Indigenous or First Nations peoples who are also present in this room or joining us online. But I want to put you this challenge. Sorry folks, I walk and talk, so you might, that's just my style of using my hands, so just letting you know, you'll get used to it because I do social work theories, I will lecture. So I think as a non-Indigenous person, I'll put this challenge to you as a social worker is to continuously not only learn about the history of First Nations peoples, but to think about what are your biases? What are your privileges? What is your professional self? What values you are driven by? And I want you to ask this question as you go through the 2 years of the program. And I was from India. I came to Australia. I've come back to Flinders. I was in your place 15 years ago. The only thing is I didn't turn up to many classes. Sorry, that's not a great testament. I'm not saying you should do it, but the point I'm making here is I was in your place. I didn't know much about First Nations communities, but what I was able to do through through specifically challenging my own values, my own biases, is then start to reframe what is my role as an ally in the context of First Nations communities. And I can see many people here from very diverse backgrounds within Australia and overseas. So what I want you to do across the next 2 years is you are going to be hit with diversity of all types in social work. So having a great professional identity and using and having a capacity to challenge your personal and professional values is very critical. And the acknowledgement, that's why if you want to make it meaningful for yourself, I'll set a challenge. You come to the social work SOAD 9060 social work theories unit. I want students to think about the acknowledgement and speak to the personal connection they have to the acknowledgement. So that way, it is meaningful. You're bringing your professional self, your personal self into it, and it's not a tick box. You wanted a question? Oh, sorry. I thought you wanted a question. No, that's great. You want questions. We love it. So now what I will do is I will come to the three women here, my colleagues, and I will ask them to introduce themselves and talk about a bit of their professional background. So you will see, and they are your role models, so you can aspire to be them after you finish your 2-year degree. But just before I go, I just want to give you some high-level overview. I didn't want to bombard you with the whole master plan of the MSW because you've been bombarded with a million types of information on your first day. So what happens in semester 1, folks? These are the 4 topic coordinators. Topic coordinators means people who are going to lead these subjects. Most of you will be either enrolling face-to-face or on campus or online. So we've got diverse populations. So at 9102, Ellie, I should have asked how should I pronounce her surname. So my apologies for not asking Ellie how to correctly pronounce her surname. But Ellie will be leading that topic. Social work theories, it will be me. Then practice with individuals, Jenny Charlton, and her colleagues and her peers will be, who are all practitioners. So they are going to bring practice in a simulated environment. It is not only fun, as the Pro Vice Chancellor said there, but it will also be challenging. It will push you to become uncomfortable. But these are critical skills which Anna and Ross chew into my ear every day and every minute, but also because they are passionate about field education, but also your practice. So that's what you will hear in terms of practice skills. And then engaging in professional context, you've got Heidi, who will be she's got significant 18 years of work experience in Department of Child Protection. So really, our topic leads have got significant experience in both practice, but also in higher education context. So I hope you will have a good semester 1. Then the teaching program director, our professor, this is her first day today, by the way, folks. So. Oh, my God, Katomi, that's terrible. Oh my God. Come on, Katomi, you need to sit here. Come on, Katomi. Now I'm going. My apologies. See, this is what happens, you see, when you can't recognize people. I knew Katomi in a former life 14 years ago. And guess what? Katomi is here. Oh, sorry, I'm not a huggy person, but that's okay. Love is there.
Sorry to put water on.
No, love is there, Katomi. Love is in the air.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh my goodness, Katomi. No. Well, you caught me. So, Katomi, so our teaching program director, so it's very prescient. She is the boss. So, to put it in a very small, nice way, just very translational way for you folks. So what I might do is, maybe Katomi, do you want to just introduce yourself? Because I understand it's being recorded, so we are just using the mic.
Hi everyone. I didn't mean to just kind of surprise and walk in, but I also didn't want to interrupt. I just wanted to come and observe. My name is Kithomi Gatweri. My names are just pronounced phonetically the way they're written, so there's no hidden surprises in any of the letters. Today is my first day, so we start together. So we're gonna start together, working together, learning together. So if you have any problems, you've got me, you've got Tejaswini, you've got all my lovely colleagues here. Our job here is to support you and to ensure that you have a fantastic experience as a student here, but also to expand what Tejaswini was saying, to expand your breadth of theoretical knowledge, but also your practice experience. So that is our job, to look after you and to make sure that you're okay. By way of background, I'm a social worker and I'm also a counseling psychotherapist as my way of background. And my research is pretty much on critical race theory and experiences of marginalized communities or people who've been assigned what I like to call categories of difference, so whatever that is, yeah? So today is not about me, but you see me around a lot. So please stop me, have a conversation, ask me questions. Sorry, but we're learning together. So it shouldn't be a problem, and lovely to meet all of you as well.
Thank you very much. So what I might do is, that's Precinct. So let me just go down the panel here, and yeah, my colleagues will introduce themselves.
So g'day, I'm Ros. You'll see me formally called Rosalind Francis, but Ros is absolutely perfect to address me. Unless you have a nicer name, I'll answer to anything kind. But I'm the topic coordinator for field education, and that probably overwhelms and dominates my focus. But one of my greater passions is the topic I also topic coordinate, which is groups and communities. So you'll see me very definitely in groups and communities. You probably don't want to see me too often when you hit Field Education 1, because I usually problem solve. So, but if you do have a problem, bring it on, let me know, and then I'll feel like I've done a good job because I've fixed a problem. But I really look forward to meeting you in Field Education 1. It's the moment that you get to step out of the academic world and be a social worker on learning plates. And you'll discover all those little things you knew were a problem in your way of doing life and be able to polish that diamond. But you'll also discover some of your strengths that you had no idea about. And so the learning journey in Field Ed 1 is massive. When you're worried or concerned about it, just make sure you have reached out to all the right people at all the right times. Don't be a last-minute person, because that's a hard one to call. But make sure you listen to lectures, you notice things that you should be going to in the whole of your journey through this master's and bachelor's course. Oh, we're all masters here. So through your master's course, make sure you actually tick all those boxes so that you're the best of the best you can be. Welcome.
And hi, I'm Anna Hardy. Sorry, my voice doesn't usually sound like this, but I've got a bit of a cold. So Ros was talking before about a learning journey. I'll see you at the sort of tail end of your learning journey, because I teach in the master's degree. I'm the topic coordinator for your field education second placement. So your final placement in field education, which is a really exciting sort of journey to land on, because you've had experience in the field in field education 1, and you probably thought, oh, I know which direction that I want to take in social work because I've had that experience. But sometimes you actually get you will have a very different experience for your final placement. And so hopefully that will actually help you to sort of think about what direction you want to take in your next steps after you've finished this degree. So I, like Ros and Kathomi and Tejaswini, actually teach in other topics as well. So I teach in a bachelor topic around interpersonal communication as well. And so it's like looking at those really foundational skills which you'll experience in your practice with individuals as well. So my background before I came into field education at Flinders University was within the disability sector. So I worked with people from birth to death with a range of disabilities, from intellectual disabilities, acquired brain injuries, and physical and neurological disabilities as well. And I bring a lot of that to my teaching. And I think that I love social work actually because it's such a diverse degree. So hopefully you find yourself in this degree. A lot of people sort of say that they've found their home or they've been really challenged, and that's a great thing because that's what learning is, to be uncomfortable and be challenged and find our sort of best version of ourselves. So I look forward to being part of your journey.
And I'm Anastasia. I feel weird sitting on this chair and not standing up in this room. I am an Aboriginal person, a First Nations person from New South Wales, so this isn't my country here. I come from the Wiradjuri tribe, so a lot of my work that I do in social work is around that passion for supporting my own community and helping other people to support my community as well. So we might meet each other later on down the track next year. But I guess the two pieces that I'm passionate about is obviously making sure that you guys are ready and prepared for the workforce, and when you work with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, that you do it in the right way. And we've got some ways to do that here at the university, but it's also kind of, I think, a process that you work through over the next couple of years. And it's not about how Aboriginal people fit what you're doing, it's how you deconstruct yourself to understand the community that you're working with. So I'm super excited. We do put a bit of comedy and a bit of videos in our stuff, so it's something you can look forward to. But we really try and look at the positives and the resilience of Aboriginal people. You hear a lot of negative talk, a lot of really kind of stuff that talks around the disadvantage, but within that disadvantage there is amazing resilience and amazing strength. So we really want to draw on understanding it from that perspective, not just the perspective of feeling super sad and feeling super, some people feel guilty about some of these things, but they're just processes you go through, right? Just to get to where you need to be a really good practitioner. So yeah, nice to meet you all.
See, I told you, they are good. You can give a round of applause to them. No, I'm just, but we have a very diverse team and highly experienced social work practitioners. And they have worked from executive management positions down to also the groundwork also. And I think there's great value and depth, both practice wisdom, but also theoretical knowledge, but also intervention knowledge you can lean upon when you have these folks in your class. You can become the best version of yourselves by you being committed to your learning. You want to push the boundaries as far as you want. Go and ask your lecturers, your tutors, what does this mean in real world practice? I didn't understand this. Ask the question, be inquisitive. The classes I went to, I was considered very painful because I asked a lot of questions. So that was only one consistent thing I did in my study, is ask a lot of questions. So being inquisitive, using this educational safe learning environment and challenging us, your educators, is a brilliant thing. So I want you to espouse those values of taking charge of your learning and lean on their expertise, okay? You will become better practitioners because of that. But don't worry about yourself, but always think about your ethical obligation to the individuals and the communities you will serve outside. You want that intervention to be the best possible under the circumstances. So it's for that reason. Just a bit about myself. So yeah, I'm Tejaswini, and I'm the MSW, so the Master of Social Work Graduate Entry Course Coordinator. So usually if there are any issues related to your program study, if you've got any challenges, if there are any things you need to change, if you want to defer your study, if you have got issues with how to manage your study, then you come to me and you can send me an email. Just from my own background, I've been in higher education and had significant experience in higher education. But I think for me, my interest is around looking at marginalization, particularly the role of social workers in the context of alcohol and other drugs, because alcohol and other drugs, as many of you know, is dominated by psychologists, addiction medicine specialists, social epidemiologists, pharmacists. But hey folks, social work does, no discipline does social work, case management, person in the environment better than social workers. So I hope that through the examples I will give you and the application I will talk about from theory to practice in my lectures, that you will start to understand what is the role of the social worker in such a health professional context when the knowledge you have in addiction is very medical focused. So we need social workers there. there. So I'm particularly, and also tackling stigma. So that's an area I'm interested in. The other one is around critical pedagogies, how to think about critical thinking to do critical reflection. You know, the challenge I put to you in relation to the acknowledgement and learning your professional identity and your professional self. So those are some of the things I'm interested in. But anyway, we'll have those conversations as we go through the weeks and the months. There's general inquiries. For any general inquiries, that's an excellent email. I tell you what, they are dead set efficient. You send an email, bang, they will answer it to you in 24 hours. They are really good, Monday to Friday. So they are an excellent source. Then course enrollment and study plan options, ask Flinders at flinders.edu.au. Once again, really good. Our professional staff, I've been to different universities, I will say this, that our professional staff, particularly in the college, have exceptional professionalism. They're very efficient and very quick in dealing with things, okay? Just letting you know. So if you have any issues, please do. And you've already seen my colleagues here. Why are we not moving? Okay, so who do I contact? I want to change a course, ask Flinders. I need a study template drawn up, means, you know, your study plan, if you want to change something. Because, you know, we know life happens. Life is not always a linear trajectory that everything goes hunky-dory. So there will be ups and downs. So, or there will be some challenges or some changes you need to make. That's it. Study template means your study plan. I have a question about my topic. Straight away go to your topic coordinators. I've given you semester 1 study. Those topic coordinators, bang, they are your first point of contact. If you will have tutorials, people who will be both in online as well as on campus. So first question, ask your tutor. If your tutor says, I don't know, I'll get back to you, wait for them. Otherwise, write an email to the topic coordinator. Usually, start there. It's very, very critical to start there, okay? And I have disability and need and access plan, health and counseling. So this is one of the great things is as students, you need to access this. And also there are counseling services the university offers. And as students, that's a great thing for you to access services because later on, services, you will not get the same level of support once you get out of the university. So use whatever you can in terms of your library, disability, learning support, academic support, library, because this will never happen later. And I'm not saying it's free because you're paying for your study, but I think maximize is what I'm saying. It's there, maximize. That's why take charge of your studies. Then I would like to get involved in the social aspects of the university. Flinders University Student Association, and there is also a social work student association. So my suggestion is do both. Go to the Flinders Social Work Association as well as the Students Association. So you can then connect to a wider group of students because I tell you what, it's a great professional skill because you are doing addiction work, that is alcohol and other drugs. Most of the people you will be working with will be nurses, pharmacists, doctors, addiction medicine specialists, psychiatrists, psychologists. So beautiful. Again, get other disciplines, know other people, how other professionals think, because then you can know when you learn how other people think, then you can say, how can I as a social worker advocate for this client or this situation? So that's the thing about this learning you want to do. So that's why I would strongly encourage you. And I will say your social work association is a very good organization. They do a lot of good work. I have had some interactions with them. They are tremendous. There is one of your representatives, I forget the student's name. She is absolute dead set legend. She's really good. So I would say do connect up with the Social Work Association. Okay, folks?
And for international students, International Student Services also has connections around social sort of aspects. I know that in the MSW you're studying a lot, like you're doing lots of, it's a long load, a big load, but go to ISS because they're great at sort of setting up people together as well.
I don't want you to just, we speak to you. Do you have any questions? There was a mic here because my understanding is someone is online. Do you have any questions? No? You're all shy?
Not yet.
Huh? Sorry? You're all clear? Okay, good. No, it's okay. I was just thinking, just to break it up, we don't want to talk at you. About the course, you're very curious. It's a 72 Point postgraduate program. It's taught over a 2-year period for full-time studies. It's a maximum time to complete in 10 years, but anyway, let's not work around. Let's 4 years for part-time and 2 years for full-time. That's usually the standard. Most folks would be 2 years they will be getting out, and 4 years would be a few of them. So that's the timeline. Mode of delivery, you've got both in-person and online. Then there are intensives, and Anastasia, who introduced herself, Roz, they'll be running 2 intensives. It's working alongside Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, I think is the title. Please don't hang me on the title, but she does that working alongside First Nations communities. And Roz, as she articulated, she has got eons and eons of experience working with groups and communities. So you need to lean into her expertise in community development. She's very strong background in that. Plus she'll be running those intensives and placements. And I know 1,000 hours. It already feels intimidating. Oh my goodness, what the hell? Don't worry. We have got, I would say, I'm saying this, I'm putting this now on a recorded record, that these 2 folks, Anna and Roz, are the most professional, highly calibrated, intelligent, in-depth people who you will meet and to manage your placement unit. So they are very, very professional and have very high standards in the type of work they do. So they will be helping and managing your placements.
And placements are fun, like they're a great experience. So don't be scared of the hours. And it is quite scary stepping into practice experience, but you'll learn so much. It's fun.
We need to make sure you're on the mic because it's being recorded.
That's right. I'm loud anyway.
No, but we have to still make sure the online person needs to hear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, both of you can. Yeah.
I was just going to say that placements are really fun. It might seem really scary, and 1,000 hours does seem like a lot, but you'll learn so much about yourself. You'll be exposed to different kind of practice experience, and it is really fun learning. And then you're thinking about all of those things that you've learned in your first semester, and you start applying those into your practice, and so those dots sort of start to get being connected, which is a great experience.
Say one of the things I come across more often than not in field ed is that students have either come into the degree with an idea they want to work in this field or that field, or they don't know, but when they get their placement allocation, they don't want to be there. Please don't waste any time and energy on where that placement might be. You will get a placement that will teach you social working. And so love it and embrace it, and you might actually enjoy it. I know from experience that very often I'm like cringing at the thought of some of the spaces I've had to go into, and they're the places I'd give anything to go back to. So do keep that in the back of your mind, because it does undo a few students here and there along the way because they're fixated. This is not a space to be fixated on. You will learn.
I'll just add something to that, Ross. And also, just because we've got some fantastic rural placements, if you got an opportunity to go to a rural or remote area, just grab it with your 2 hands. Incredible learning and incredible support that we offer to students who actually go into rural or remote placements, including, I think, support for accommodation. You know, we make those arrangements for you. If you're an international student and you want to see this country and learn from this country, don't just stay in the metropolis and just go, this is Australia. This is a big continent with a lot of history, with a lot of stories. And so if we're able to organize a placement for you where you're able to go into the heart of this country to work with people who live regionally, remotely, or in rural places, see it as a gift. I think personally for me, that's how I would see it. And then we will make sure that we support you to be able to feel okay there. And I know previously in my previous universities, some of those students have gone there and enjoyed it so much, and they've stayed there for work. They get offered work, get offered visa sponsorships because they go there and they outdo themselves. And the staff there love them, the community love them. And so it's also a good thing for you to expand your skill set within those spaces.
Oh, no, you can leave it there because I want you folks also to be, on that matter, the final one with Katomi just explained, we are starting a roadshow starting the 3rd week of August. I'll be going to every lecture, if there are lectures, or I will be putting a recorded message on all the units with the specificities of regional rural placements, why you should take it, what are the supports, what are the benefits, and we want our MSW students to experience. And also just a personal thing for me is I was a Flinders University student. I did my placement in child protection in the Northern Territory with remote communities. It transformed and shaped my life, not in a good way. It was a great learning experience, and to quote Sarah Ahmed, every good learning experience is a difficult experience. But if I were not done that placement, I would be worse off in terms of my own understanding, my professional identity, my professional self, my values, my biases, my privileges. It sharpened the focus on me. So folks, jump in and get involved in that. And that's the other beauty of regional rural placements is there's a lot more few people to do things, so you will get exposure to many, many different things and many different skills. So the variety of skills you will learn from a metropolitan versus a regional remote will be extraordinary. So you will become a much more generalist trained social worker. So I want you to keep your eyes and ears open. And something both folks said is enjoy the placement. I do want to ask for a practical point of view. Roz, for their first placement, when are you folks going to run your session? Do you run it in the later half of this semester?
Yeah, it'll be in the later half of this semester to prepare for first semester next year. Yeah, which is your second semester. Yeah.
And the placements teams will be in touch, is that correct?
Yeah, so placement services will contact you when you're eligible to go out on placement the next semester. And all I can say is please, please, please be attentive to all their requirements. It's just like if you're going for a job in the workplace, you have to answer a million questions. You have to do a dozen sort of checks and cross-checks. Get them done, because it can compromise where you're allocated. If you haven't finished all your compliance, you just can't get on the list for an allocation. So make sure you're not the one missing out because you dilly-dallied and went too slow on it. So yeah, middle of the semester coming, make sure you're watching and listening for the work integrated learning people.
Check your emails regularly. It's really important.
Yeah.
So don't miss correspondence. And also, Ros and I, other colleagues within the university, have actually set up some supports for gearing people in their readiness for undertaking placement. So we did do a couple of day workshop we're hoping to replicate again for people sort of moving forward into their first placement for next semester too.
Thank you. So that also will happen. And 8020, your first skills unit, it has got some compliance work related to placement. So please ensure you finish that assessment and fill all the documents. And please, all communication from Flinders happens to your Flinders students' email. So make sure you check all your Flinders students' email and put in your signature, your student ID, the topics you're enrolled in. I'll tell you, it makes life very easy for topic coordinators. And then it's accredited by the Australian Association of Social Workers. There's absolutely some seriously exciting things happening at Flinders in social work, okay? We are already accredited by the ASW, but also we are redesigning and reshaping the program. And next year in semester 1, you will see your units having all this also retransformed curriculum, which is much more focused on practice and the integration of theory into practice. And this retransformation of the curriculum is based on 18 months of feedback and industry stakeholder consultation. So it's the industry telling us, This is the skills we need in our future graduates. And I'll tell you what, if anyone asks you if you are doing a social work, because there are a billion social work programs across the country here, or not billion, I'm just exaggerating, but the point is there are a number of social work programs, but what makes you Flinders social work graduate, what makes you special is you will see in semester 1 when we roll out the new curriculum, it will be having technology enabled, which means we are trying to introduce purposefully and meaningfully how do social workers tackle and interact with technology, because that's the greatest revolution we will have, digital transformation in the next 10 to 15 years. So AI is here to stay. It's the wild, wild west, but it's here to stay. And then the other one is interdisciplinary work. So that's what makes you special as Flinders graduates, okay? So that's about Flinders and your MSW program. The registration, don't worry about the social work registration. It's been put off and they are still going through a consultation work. Just in the
I can move it if you want.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Then this is the course structure. As I said, your 4 topics are at the absolute top of the box, and you will have your social work with diverse populations, social work theories, practice. In semester 2, you'll have social work with groups and communities. That's where Roz will be involved. Then you'll have social work research in practice settings. I know, every time there is the R word, people are, oh my God, why do we need research for social workers? Folks, any type of work you do, evidence gathering, even when you are speaking to a client, even when you're having informal conversations, what you're doing, you're collecting information, you're understanding the person, you are understanding their story, their narrative, it's evidence gathering. So absolutely research is at the center of your universe. The way you are able to tackle evidence, build evidence, and then wean the wheat from the chaff. That means what is relevant and what is not objective. You can become good practitioners. You can then make evidence-based decisions. You can make decisions that are well articulated, are ethical, and you can defend them. That's why research skills are absolutely central to our life. I know it's painful, but they're very central. That's my point. It's like, I know, it's a bit like, the medication, when you're young, you have to take medication and you put sugar in it. But sugar is the social work, research is the medicine. But we all need it to be healthy, folks. So that's research. And then you've got placement. So that's your second year, you'll have your first placement. Then in second year, you will do mental health, social work in mental health perspectives. Then you've got social issues and social policy. Once again, policy defines everything you do in practice, so it's a really important unit. Trauma and resilience, and I know anesthesia has done a lot of work in trauma and resilience, even though it's in the context of First Nations communities, but I think if we can lend a ear to ourselves, we open our ears, we can learn a lot from First Nations communities. Do you want to say anything specific?
No. Thank you for the offer.
No, I'm trying to make it like a discussion.
Is there anything you would like me to say?
Yeah? Just something, if you wanted to share something specific about trauma.
No, I think my work has been in the child protection space mainly the last 10 years. So even though my passion is First Nations people, it's kind of the work that I've done is with people who are highly disadvantaged, marginalised, and also systemically oppressed. So the system itself has actually oppressed people, and we don't sometimes see that, and we don't sometimes notice that. We think it's the fault of people or the fault of individuals or entire communities. So working in bases like the child protection system is a clear, tricky place to sit when you kind of want to be a good social worker, but you're also dealing in systems that impact people's lives and unfairly treat people, unfairly further harm people, further cause further trauma. So yeah, that's kind of where the kind of trauma stuff plays in that context of child protection and working with families and communities. And Patrice, who teaches that topic, is amazing. Like she really is. And she has a psychologist background, but she's also just bang on. You'll know it when you see her. I promise you'll go, oh, that's what Stasia meant. She's a very clever lady.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So this is, well, what are we doing? We are doing like a love-in session here, but see, this is the collegiality you will see in social work, okay? Folks, do you have any questions? Any concerns? Oh, great. Oh, sorry. Okay.
He wanted to go first.
Yes, my name is John. In regards to the online and in-person classes, how do you determine you're supposed to be attending class online or you're supposed to be here in person?
So what the simple, I'll give you the high level answer first. So every student who is enrolled in a unit is required to have across the 14 weeks, the 2 weeks lead in and then 2 weeks after you finish your formal 12-week semester, you are across that you have to do 135 hours of study. And usually per week, how do we break it down from semester to per week? 7 hours. Some units will have lecture, which is social work theories, has a lecture, which is a face-to-face lecture. Some units will not have a lecture. Though they will be just recorded, they will be put on flow site, and you just have to watch the lecture before you enter your tutorials. And tutorials would be, some tutorials like social work theories is 1 hour. Some tutorials are 2-hour tutorials. I cannot remember if any of our unit has got 3-hour tutorials. Usually it will be 1 hour or 2 hours. And next year it will be 1 hour of pre-recorded lectures and 2 hours active learning workshops, which means tutorials. So in terms of the intensives, it's absolutely mandatory because the AASW requires every student to have a minimum of 20 days across the 2 years of the program, face-to-face. That means you have to be here and we have to be in front of you, not synchronistic via Teams, if you like, not in lifetime. So all the intensives, attending the intensives is an absolute legit requirement because the AASW is quite strict on that. Is that clear? Does it answer your question?
Yes, no.
Yeah, so you can ask a further question. What is yes and what's no?
Yeah, so on my enrollment letter, it says that I'm external online, but once I enroll on the courses, it says in person at Brentford. So I was a bit confused. Where will I be attending the classes?
So in the way it works for enrollment is domestic students have the ability to be external and international students have a certain minimum requirement under Australian legislation to have face-to-face mode of study. So would you mind telling me your type of enrollment?
I'm domestic.
Domestic, that's fine. Then you can enroll in most of the units online, except the intensives, no. You have to come. No, there's no movement on that because that's mandatory. But every other unit you can learn online, absolutely no problem. But what we tell students is, please attend the online tutorials. Don't just disengage because you can do it online, I don't need to. Some of the assessments are very closely tied to your curriculum. So if you don't attend your online tutorials, your success rate will be challenged in terms of getting a high grade. It will be compromised. Does that answer your question?
Or if you can, come to class so you can form relationships.
That's true too, thank you, yeah.
I mean, some of the people I'm still these people will end up being your professional colleagues, your bosses, your peers, over the long time, right? Oh, thank you. Over the long term. So it's good sometimes to come in, have coffees, sit on the sunshine, go around the lake, go to the because I feel, and this might be a bias, that students who study predominantly online might lack that social connection, both with the university, their teachers, and with their peers. And so even if you have the capacity to enroll online, our preference is to see you so that we can connect with you and so we can see when you're struggling, so we can see when you're disengaged. When we've never met you, seen you, it's hard for us to know how to respond to you. And the other thing that I think is really important, particularly in this Flinders social work program, is that you're not just going to be taught by social workers. It's an absolutely interdisciplinary team, because we recognize that when you go out there and you're in real practice, you will never be siloed into a social work team forever, where you would never have to engage with psychologists or, so you've got psychologists teaching you, mental health clinicians teaching you, socio-epidemiologists teaching you, you've got sociologists teaching you, and I think it expands you. So come in and meet your peers, your educators, so that you have a sense of connection to the course. And of course, I understand there are situations where people can't do that because of other access needs, but when you can, if you can, please do that.
Thanks. I'm